Everybody's talking about, including me, about Oppenheimer. There's one film where at the end of 3 hours, I was like, I wish there was half an hour more.
We had a big debate on it, saying no, it should be half an hour less. Past lives made me remember again thinking that I should do once.
Walking and talking.
Yes, walking and talking. We actually had a story dancing and fighting. I have to make this. I have to make that genre. An agent like Shrikant Tiwari, Manoj Bajpayee, and putting him in an IT company
Yes.
is so far off. And you always want to beat up your boss, right? There's an award that we got for it that said the most satisfying scene of the year.
Hi Raj, hi DK, how are you? Welcome to Chalchitra Talks.
Thank you.
Good.
So, ये थोड़ा different conversation होने वाला है and today we are going to take a lot of recommendations from you. I want to start from your earliest film watching memory. Like, do you have a memory of like, hey, this is the first time I went to a theater, or this is the first film I ever saw on a VCR or anything? So I want to know both of your first movie watching memories.
I don't think I know what was the first movie I saw in a theater because I think I was watching movies in a theater at a very young age. Like I would go with my parents or uncles or whoever. So by the time I would even remember what it is, I've probably already gone to the theater many times. But the first film I watched on a VCR, I remember, and this was at a friend's house because VCRs were too expensive. I didn't have it, but my friend had a VCR and I went and I watched this movie, Nayagan, Mani Ratnam's film with Kamal Hassan. And it's a good film, so it's good to remember that. It could have been a crap film I might have watched and it
At
would have
least
been
you
so
watched a
great.
good film. The
Yeah.
first film.
How
Yeah.
old were you like when you watched Nike?
I don't remember now. Like what year did it?
Nike. I don't
you must
know
have
which year
watched
was
after it
Nike.
came out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
1987. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I was very young. I was very young. Like
I don't know how much you grasped it, I wonder.
yeah, no, but all I know was Kamal Hassan was a big star.
For me, I can't think of the first times, of course. Very tough, very, very tough. But I remember a few films that were like stayed in some visuals in a weird way. I'm going to talk about obscure shit right now.
Yeah. This is our channel would like it's all about obscure shit.
So my obscure thing was that neighbors had a VCR and all these little kids, we used to go and watch nonsense, whatever was there, you watch it. So there was one random film called Flesh Eaters.
So,
Okay, and we were like, oh my god, they're eating each other up. So it was like,
first cannibalism.
it's a horror film.
Ah.
Flesh Eaters, like they're not cannibalism. No. It's more like some monster, they're zombies. I think it was zombies of some kind. And so that was it. And I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And another film like that was Clash of the Titans, where I was watched in theater and I was like, what is this world? What is this? You're scared, you Medusa and this and that. Entire Greek mythology told in one film. No idea what it meant. But that was something, again, very impacted, it impacted my visuals for a long time. These were one of the first memories that I remember even later.
Got it. So, and I know like you guys have put out this amazing list on Film Companion about the 40 films that like you guys would want to recommend. So I would talk about film recommendations, but let's first start with TV show and like show recommendations in general. Which are your favorite shows overseas? Kaun se favorite?
I know what my answer is. It's probably going to be the same as his answer. So I'm going to go first. Succession.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, like right now? Yeah,
Yeah,
Succession.
current shows, yeah.
I blank out on these questions, but yeah, Succession is awesome.
Succession is a very
It's
good
just-
show. I'm sure you like it.
Also, whatever I picked up during the lockdown were like really good recommendations because I rarely watch. If I say some stuff, it'll become blasphemy right now. The number of shows I haven't watched. that
Tell us
people would
the
have
name.
Like Game of Thrones.
Like I haven't watched Game of
I
Thrones.
love Game of Thrones. I mean,
I haven't watched Breaking Bad. I haven't watched Sopranos. I haven't watched Lost, Suits.
Why?
You name it, I haven't watched it. Because I always felt guilty that I should be making movies and not watching them. I don't know. So I ask 5 people before I pick up a show saying, are you sure I'm going to watch it? And also I think the most popular ones kind of are not are a little turn off, maybe, like in the fact that everybody's watched it, everybody's talked about it, and if I haven't watched it when it came out, then it's a little, I don't know if I want to go for it. Because I don't know, there's some kind of too much of something.
This happens with me also. If everyone is recommending it, I'm like, cool. Like they're like, you need to watch it right now. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it after 1 year.
No, the most populist ones, I get it. They're going to be great. Maybe I didn't get it in the right time, and so it's too late now. So I don't go for it. Once the second season comes out, I don't go and watch first. Plus, like I said, I pick and choose so much. I've left some 50 shows after first half episode because I'm looking for something more.
Yeah, even I can't watch a show that's very old because I do realize that's true for films also. That was very good when it came out, but now because things are progressing very fast, the shows that are coming these days are snappier, faster, quirkier. There's there's so much more happening. So a show that's say 20 years old, which would have been great when it came out, if you take that out of context and watch it today, like you're watching Succession, you watch one show from 2005, it's probably not going to hold up unless you already know that it's a great show and you kind of transport yourself to that era. It's going to be a little difficult to enjoy it.
Another reason I think for me as a creator is that if it's a show that's too close to something I'm thinking already, or we have a show that we want to do, we have a story, and this is kind of in that, like somewhere related, I stop it after a few episodes, even though it's great, because you start getting influenced. Where will you go? Where do you get your life experiences from? We have only so much limited life experiences, right? What you lived, what you've seen, what your friends tell you. But beyond that, what is the major impact that you get? Where are you getting all these experiences from? Movies. And more and more, it goes into your subconscious that you will invariably start churning those out, is my fear too. Otherwise, you'll have to make such a conscious effort to no, not that. I don't want to be like, oh my God, not this, and oh my God, not this. You don't want to write like that. You want to write freely, and just thinking that this wasn't there before. So somehow it'll come out fresh. And there are others who will catch it later and say, sir, this scene is too close to that movie, and then I'll take it out.
Like, have people told you this, hey, this is like this scene from Breaking Bad or something, and you're like, hey, I haven't even watched it. So
yeah, so Breaking Bad came very close to us. That's what people said, like, hey, this is like a Breaking Bad. And I said, like, thank God I didn't watch it. And I actually picked it up later on, started watching it, and I said, okay, I can see that, the guy who doesn't do anything making something and all, but that's a format.
That's a template.
Beyond that, I thought it's fine as long as I don't get influenced by the show. So that's the reason I actually stopped it.
But this is very fascinating for me. So, जो भी आपकी सारी stories आती हैं, all the stories you get, are they all coming from like just experiences? So when it comes to pop culture, what do you consume? If it is not movies and shows, like do you also get ideas from music or like books, or do you have the same relationship with books also? Hey, I don't want to read fiction because it might like subconsciously give me ideas that I don't want to have.
See, it's a very complex answer. Do you want to do a simple answer? I have a very complex answer.
All your answers have been complex. Yes, what's your favorite show? You said I don't watch shows.
My complex answer for this is, movies do inspire me. Of course, I steal from movies. When I say steal, don't think plagiarism. I steal from a guy who would have acted on a certain scene in an interesting fashion that stays in the head. I might not use the scene or take the scene or a point of it, but I realize that this at some point comes out in another fashion. That is how you are educating yourself, you are improving yourself, that this scene can be enacted like this also. So these things influence you, if you want, whatever word you want to call it. So you're watching films to also become a better filmmaker, a better director, to understand actors better, to understand framing better. So you do, of course, education is films.
Also, it opens up the possibilities that you could do.
Yes.
Like, for example, if you think a horror film has to be a certain way, that's what you've learned in the last 50 years of existence of horror films. And then, for example, when we made Stree, right? I mean, this is not an exact example of what happened. When we made Stree, a new term came into being called a Trojan horse movie, wherein you're packaging it as a horror comedy or a horror film, but there is a deeper message lying in it. And then there was a comparison to another film called Get Out. Obviously, if you watch Stree and Get Out, there's absolutely nothing in common between them. But the idea that there's a deeper, socially relevant message packaged in a genre is the common point about it. So these kind of awakenings happen when you watch a film, when you watch a comedy that has a message. Let's say, I'm saying it, breaking it down to the very basic level, it gives you the idea that you could make a comedy with a message at the very least.
In fact, comedy becomes a better carrier for a message.
Yeah.
Like a movie like Barbie, it's so slapstick when it starts out that it's so disguised in humor that the amount of satire that it's hitting you is incisive. It's breaking stereotypes and destroying patriarchy so hard. Why is it being dished out so easily? Is because the humor is, humor is what is getting the message across.
Yeah, it's a silly shell. It's a silly shell with very meaningful content.
You observe people, you pick stuff from people. I listen to people's stories. I like to listen to people when they talk and they talk about themselves and their stories. Always fascinates me because it's always something new. Anybody, you listen to anybody for 5-10 minutes and they talk a little freely about themselves, you learn a lot. And so your character that seems typical on surface could start having a trait from you tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of people tell me usually, don't take this from me, okay? And they do something and I say, that's hilarious what you did. I don't want to see it on screen tomorrow.
And to further answer that question, where do the ideas come from, right? 3 out of the last few recent ones we've made, Family Man, Farzi, and Shore in the City, the ideas came from newspaper stories. Like you're looking at news articles of bizarre things happening. It started with Shore. Similar thing happened with Farzi. Like there is no film about counterfeiting that we are aware of at the time, right? Yet we made a movie about counterfeiting because you read about counterfeiting in the papers and you hear about the real people, and that starts it off. But there is no character of Sunny. There is no real artist who's making it.
Yeah.
So that's where the fiction kicks off based on a newspaper article about counterfeiting you read. Similarly for Family Man.
In Shore in the City, we just called it inspired from newspaper stories, which didn't mean anything. All it was one Ganesha, some outside procession was going on, and using that procession, 2 people got in and robbed a bank because it was there. So I took it as a little clip. All it said in the middle of the thing, somebody robbed a bank. And if you read details, it said there was a procession going out, and so nobody was paying notice. So in a scene there, they're doing aarti, and the guards are taking aarti also, while these guys are nicely escaping. So these random things happen amongst us. But how do you use it in a film? Like I've read something where the bomb squad didn't have decent bomb suits, that somebody had to do it without a suit, defuse a bomb. In the Family Man, that guy is going and he put a duct tape and he's like going in.
I have noticed like a few patterns, like the way you show bomb detonation. It's very interesting in general.
Yeah.
Like in also the Family Man, ki, okay, cut ho gaya, oh, we are safe, and boom, Shore in the City also. Like it's just like a very interesting pattern.
I think we're fascinated with bombs.
And the other thing I think you guys are fascinated by is the portrayal of like corporate worlds and like your shows and films. Right?
That's a previous life. That's the other part of your answer. Like all our characters end up or some of our movies, like periodically we have characters, we have situations of the protagonist working in a software company or some kind of a management or some kind of a corporate company, depending on the story. And that's where we pull from our previous life where we were doing these 9-to-5 jobs, getting bored. And
imagine taking an agent or whatever you call him, like Shrikant Tiwari, Manoj Bajpayee, and putting him in an IT company.
Yes.
It's so far off. And you always want to beat up your boss, right? Yeah. So finally we wanted to make that come true. So hence he beats up the boss. It's so funny, there's an award that we got for it that said the most satisfying scene of the year.
It was given by, like, who gives this award?
I don't remember.
Sure, like some portal or somebody.
Somebody
right?
gave. I was
Yeah,
like, so
and it
funny.
was like that scene where he slaps his boss and says, "I quit." So I think that's everybody's dream to do.
But since this is Chalchitra Talks and our channel is all about recommendations, so I'll still try to hunt for these recommendations, right? So which films or shows do you think got like the portrayal of corporate worlds right?
Office Space.
Office Space is the absolute best film about the corporate world. I mean, there is no other film. You just have to watch that film. That's the A to Z. That's the entire
It
Bible.
is the holy grail of Office.
Yeah. That's the entire dictionary of all films about the corporate world.
But of course, the Office itself later.
Oh yes.
You can't beat that.
On television,
You can't beat that. It's just you can watch any episode at any point.
Have you guys seen Mr. Robot?
Yes, yes.
It's
Mr. Robot,
also
I
in
have
some
seen.
ways.
Yeah, that's in a different zone. I mean, yeah, it starts off like that, but it's still like, it has a lot more elements to it. It's a little futuristic, right? It's futuristic, right?
Yeah, kind of. One of the shows which comes to my mind when I think of like portrayal of
or even Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Had a
Yes.
No, the start of it.
large portion in an office, and the guy goes apeshit, and it goes somewhere else. But it starts off in an office, in a corporate, tie wearing, you know.
And in fact, we used to identify with him a lot. That we had a story those days called frequent flyers, because we were traveling software engineers, and then you know how he wakes up in a different plane, and he's buying from the catalog, and
There's this whole montage.
his
right?
whole monitor. That was our life.
Where they also have this slight cameo of Brad Pitt, like where he goes. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
It's in
And
this.
if you listen to the voiceover, there's continuous voiceover Ed Norton happening. He's going on that that escalator that moves sideways, and he for the half an hour now he's been talking about his life. So you wake up, you do this, it's a single serving thing, that, and then he says, so if you sleep in a different time zone at night and
Can you wake up as a
in a
different
different time zone, do you become a different person?
Yes.
And Brad Pitt passes by and the camera goes with him. You will never notice it until you reach the end, and then you come back and watch it. That's when you notice, will you become a different person? And Brad Pitt passes by. So there's an amazing Easter egg by the director.
You know, in India, like there's a show TVF Pictures. It has this scene. There's this character Jitu, and they have to kind of like showcase his life. You guys should see it just for how they portrayed it. They just pulled off the whole thing on sounds. The sound of the keyboard,
Oh, really?
the sound of the coffee machine, and like going out and having that like cigarette wala thing. How you have those medicines Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the guy has 4 like cigarettes. 1 cigarette for Monday, 1 cigarette for.
No, I heard great things about it, but that's a very good way of doing it. Just
Yeah,
sounds and
just
the mundaneness
sounds.
of it.
Yeah.
A great idea.
And like, are there any films or shows where you were fascinated by how they did the bomb detonation? I can think of Hurt Locker. Have you guys seen the Hurt Locker?
Yeah, I've seen Hot Locker, yeah.
That is one like where you were like,
You were right there. You could actually feel it. They took all their time to defuse a bomb, and you're there. You're part of it.
Everybody's talking about, including me, about Oppenheimer. I mean, the explosive explosion scene in it is the most talked about scene. And I mean, the whole film is brilliant according to me. And it's not really about that scene either. For me, the whole 3-hour film felt like,
yeah, you tweeted about it also.
yeah, oh yeah, I tweeted about it saying, there's one film where at the end of 3 hours, I was like, I wish there was half an hour more.
Wow.
So I just didn't want to get
We
up.
had a big debate on it.
You didn't like
Saying, no,
it?
it should be half an hour less.
Yeah, for me, I just didn't want to leave the theater. I was just, oh.
No, I loved it. I loved every scene. I was actually telling my friend who was watching this film and was saying like, this is going to get best writing. I was just saying best writing, best sound design, best acting. Just the way each scene is structured is so beautifully. Each one gets a redemption. One scene, these guys coming and doing for one scenes, two scenes, and that scene they nail it. So everything was so good, and I'm very into. Of course, we are engineers earlier, so you understand a lot more
Yeah,
of
that's
this.
an added bonus. Like you understand, when he says Niels Bohr, I'm feeling, I'm smart.
I know.
I know who Niels Bohr is, right?
We know the theorems. We know those theorems and all that. So I get it, and I was loving it. But it was a little too long for me. But otherwise, it didn't matter. Long is okay. It's his choice, and I still ended up watching it and still been so impressed with the whole thing.
I watched it quite lately because I had to watch it in IMAX and like a particular seat of IMAX.
That's everybody's problem, man. People had to wait weeks to get that IMAX ticket. Otherwise, yeah, I think he spoiled it for everybody. Nolan, he should have just made a normal film, so everybody could have watched it easier. But he
For
made
once,
it.
someone made an IMAX film that doesn't have IMAX visuals, but it has IMAX sound.
Oh yes, this is such a good point.
Just
There
for
is no
the
action,
sound,
there is-
just for the sound, you can go to an IMAX for this film.
Yeah, I think again this is what I have been badly articulating to my friends. Like I'm trying to say the same thing, but this is what I should.
Yeah.
tell
Also, it's the
them.
format he chose, right? So he shows that IMAX aspect ratio. So if you don't watch in an IMAX screen, unfortunately, you're going to watch a cropped image. So while this movie is like, say, conventionally a big spectacle action is what you want to watch on IMAX, like Avatar is what you want. These drama you can watch on any screen theoretically. But once it's shot on IMAX, if you're watching this movie on a non-IMAX screen, you're watching a cropped image. And honestly, I don't know what it's going to look like. I haven't watched it, but I wonder if it's going to be not intended how it should be.
I think we also didn't watch it in the most perfect format because my cousin sister lives in US and she saw it in 70mm yesterday. And I'm like, you watch it in 70mm?
I guess we all have to fly to LA and go to that theater and watch it.
Yeah.
Tarantino did this. When he did The Hateful Eight, he said, I'm going to shoot it on that Panavision, whatever, 70mm cameras, the old cameras, and he refurbished or whatever, renovated a couple of those theaters, saying this is the perfect place. There were 100 theaters all over America, redone to fit this format in the perfect way. So the best way to watch it is in those 100 theaters in America. There's going to be 10,000 shows in the rest of the country. They all have to watch it too, right? So that's a little bit of an indulgence.
But a good indulgence to have.
Yeah. If you can do it, sure, why not?
Yeah. Which are some of the shows that you love from India? Like anything you particularly watch? Hey, I really like that. A character or a...
My original impression of us, I don't know what you call them now. They're also series. There was a series called Suba, and that Suba was about college politics, and that kind of remained. I didn't quite understand it, but I used to watch it. I used to actually wait and watch for it, called Suba. That was great. And even if you didn't understand, I used to remember Ejo Hai Zindagi.
Yeah, it was a funny show. Even I remember
But beyond that, then we left most
my
of the
Hindi
time.
was so limited, and all the adults in my family were watching. So
then and then we shifted to the US quite a bit. So then my favorite sitcom of all time in the US is Seinfeld. Just the humor of it is just timeless, and it's so nothing. And then thankfully I found Curb Your Enthusiasm by the same creator. So now you can at least enjoy that humor now in the current day.
Have you seen all of it?
No. I don't even know what happened. There's some gaps. I don't know
yeah.
where I
If
stopped
you,
it.
if you look it up on IMDb, there were like 5 seasons and then nothing for 4 years. Then one season comes, then nothing for 3 years. I think there was one season that came in post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Post-pandemic, there was a season. I caught that.
And it
too.
got renewed again very recently.
So I think Larry David one day he's like, I'm gonna make this show, and then 3 years later he comes and says, okay, one more season. 4 years later, one more season. So when he dishes it out, we watch it. Yeah.
I, in general, am fascinated by the shows where a creator is also acting in it. Particularly these comics, how they make a show on themselves. All these Master of Nuns, the Louis and like Rami.
Master of None was really good.
Master of None was good. And what is that movie with co-produced by C.K. Lewis, but it has a woman protagonist. She's also a stand mother. She plays mother of 3 kids.
It's a series produced by Louis C.K., co-produced by him.
And co-produced by this girl who created and wrote it and directed it. And she's got 3 kids, 3 daughters. Beautiful series about this single mom who's raising these 3 daughters, and then she's unbridled and has to maintain these 3 different daughters. Nice series. And
if you guys know of this, please.
Better Things.
Huh?
Better Things.
Better Things.
Better Things.
Yeah.
Nice.
Better Things is pretty cool. I think she's the creator. I'm not sure. There's another one, an Australian series called Nobody. It's him doing it. He plays a hitman, very straight-faced, nonchalant hitman with just simple problems in life. All these are, I love that bit. I love when they create their own shows.
Barry, have you seen Barry?
Barry, even what
Is
that
Barry
Chewy
good? I haven't
Gum
seen
show?
Barry.
You have to watch Barry. It's amazing.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a great
Of course,
example.
Fleabag.
Fleabag is everybody's favorite. After great pressure, she made a Fleabag 2 and said, okay, enough. So I think.
And I'm fascinated when creators are able to make a better season 2 than season 1. I have seen it happen multiple times. It happened in Master of None. For me, season 2 was better than 1. Fleabag, for me, 2 was better than 1.
Family Man?
Yeah, Family Man, definitely.
Caught you off guard.
I love when people write their own shows. A lot of them are there. I actually search for these.
Nice.
I wish there was an article somebody writes, you guys should put out one.
Yeah, do you
Saying 15 shows done by themselves.
Yeah, we'll put out an Instagram carousel.
I'll repost it. Do that.
Done. We have it on camera.
Fleabag was one of those amazing shows that when I caught it, I don't think it was famous. Like I caught it like saying UK A1 show, this, that. And I was like, oh my God, what an amazing show, super brilliant. Next thing I know, I think it comes on Prime and now everybody's watched it. Everybody is a fan of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And I'm like, okay.
You feel a little sad when that happens. Hey,
I don't feel sad. Well, she deserves it.
But like,
the whole world
there is
watches
this
it, but
selfish discovery wala angle.
it's
No more a secret.
It's the
it's no more a secret. Like it's like how we are saying now, you should watch that little show. That's like everybody's watched it, man.
I was telling you I did an episode with Sudeep recently, co-creator of Quora. He recommended this show to me. I have to watch it because we were discussing prison dramas and the portrayal of police in India and overseas. So he said the best show in long form television that he has ever watched is called Rectify. I haven't like seen it or heard of it, and he was like, you'll have to
Rectify.
Rectify. It's not available on any platform. So
Okay, Amazon Prime, Netflix. Are you all listening?
yeah. And which is your favorite Nolan film?
For me now, I have to say it's Oppenheimer. I tweeted about it, so I have to stand by it. But I've loved a lot of his films, some with reservations, some without. But lately I was most impressed with this because it's also the most mature work of his. See, I mean, every film was exciting. Memento was exciting when it came out. Inception was like mind-blowingly exciting when it came out in that sense. Now this is the most mature film. It doesn't have any of the same tricks or the mind games of those films. I was blown away just by how straightforward it was.
And who among you is the Before Sunrise fan, or is it both of you?
Both of
you.
us.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, there you
Me
go.
too. Yeah.
No, I like
Before
those,
sunrise, before sunset too.
What's the film that came recently that was very before sunrisey?
Huh?
A movie that came recently that was very before sunrisey.
Past lives.
Past Lives. Past Lives made me remember again thinking that I should do one simple
Walking and talking.
just walking and talking. We actually had a story called like that. We had a story called Dancing and Fighting. And then, but Past Lives again, I went and saw it, and then I realized that I have to make this. I have to make that genre of film, because forever we've had it. We had touches of it, but never really ventured into that.
Which is your favorite apocalypse or post-apocalypse film?
Post-apocalyptic film.
Mad Max.
Mad Max is more fantasy-ish, right?
But it is post-apocalypse.
But Mad Max is the best IMAX movie I've seen so far in Bombay. That Phoenix thing, it was unbelievable experience.
I love The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you ask for the series, that's one of the things I could like. If you haven't seen Last of Us already, you should.
Have you guys played the game?
No, I mean it still blows my mind how somebody can take a game and make a series out of it. I really didn't know games had stories. Maybe I'm a little uneducated like that. I don't know. It's one thing to take a book and make a movie, but what do you take from a
Gaming
game?
industry has been killing it lately. Like,
I know. I've been hearing it now. I mean, there are so many movies that have come from games, and I never played games. And if I did play a game, I'm a player, right? Where's the story I'm thinking?
yeah.
Even that apocalyptic, of course, I have to recommend a funny one. Is what is it called? End of the World?
End of the World, right? Yeah, Seth Rogen and James Franco and all of them playing themselves. They're all partying in James Franco's house and the world ends.
Who goes to hell, who goes to heaven and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that's amazing film.
That was funny. Last of Us, for me, that one episode was great. I mean, it was overall nice, very
The
good.
third episode?
The
third
two
episode.
guys.
Yeah,
The
third episode.
Yeah. Bill and Frank.
Bill and
Bill
Frank.
and Frank. Oh,
Third
my
episode, third
God,
episode, yeah.
what an episode that was. I wanted to stop the series there and say, I don't want to see further because this was it.
They won't be able to
I don't think
this.
you'll top this.
Sometimes I kind of like gauge if a show is good or not by you eventually remember these episodes. I remember the show by this episode, right?
Yeah.
Like for me again Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding, and like हमेशा कोई ऐसा एक episode होता है
One
जैसे
episode shocks you. Yeah.
Correct.
Narcos, for example, is a great series too. Yeah. I've watched all three seasons of Narcos and all 3 seasons of Narcos Mexico, and I can't wait for the next one to come. That's
another show I haven't watched.
That's a long-running series
yeah.
that I enjoy watching every minute of, and wait for the next one to watch. Yeah. See, I mean, 6 seasons I watch now, which is a rarity, right? I mean,
For me, in the Narcos territory, I really like that film, the American Made, Tom Cruise. The only Tom Cruise movie that is not a Tom Cruise kind of film.
it's made by Doug Liman, the director of the first Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a lot of films, He's
Big guy,
famous,
Doug Liman,
famous
yeah.
director.
The second and third were Paul Greengrass.
Yeah.
First one.
Doug only
Liman.
Bourne Identity was by him.
That one film is a great. His first film called Swingers that we also had recommended
Yeah.
had Doug Liman and Vince Vaughn
Jean Favreau.
and Jon Favreau, all three debuting as writer,
It was
actor,
Jon
director.
Favreau's script, and Jon Favreau wanted to direct it.
And then he became Iron Man, right? He started
Yeah,
Iron
but
Man,
he
so.
couldn't somehow get it greenlit, didn't have the money to make it. And Doug Liman came and said, I can make it for $300,000 and I have $300,000. And they made the film. So Doug Liman made it and no looking back from there. And Jon Favreau went on to become the director of Iron Man and Elf and a lot of other films.
You know, and I don't think it's necessarily a post-apocalyptic film, but it's a Mike Judge film called Idiocracy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it. Like,
You know who made it? Office Space
Say
guy.
Mike Judge,
Mike
yeah.
Judge
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it.
Oh, Mike Judge. Yeah.
and like the idea, everyone gets stupid. Like it's such a great.
But I think the movie must have gone horribly wrong from paper to screen. That's how I see some films. Like it must have gone horribly wrong in an edit job. The whole film is an edit job when you know it falls very short of the feature length standard time. It's barely 70 minutes, which is, you never see a film that is that short.
Interesting.
Yeah, anytime, any good film in those days, 90 minutes was the minimum. 90 plus to 100 is where you start becoming. Anybody who says 83, you know something is screwed up.
I still have to take a lot of recommendations from you, and I've been told we are short on time. So let's quickly move to books. Recommend me your favorite books, the books that that have had the most impact in your life.
I have to go back a lot in time because I don't think I've read a book in a long time. Ever since the advent of the internet and I became a filmmaker, I don't think I ever read a book. I preferred watching movies to that. But I used to read a book when I was growing up, when I was young. So my favorite books were The Bourne Identity was my all-time favorite by Robert Ludlum, and every book, like a dozen books by that author, I've loved it. And Frederick Forsyth was another writer. He wrote a book called The Day of the Jackal. So I think I'm going back a lot in time because these were the books I was reading from the local library in high school. And once I went to America, I think I started getting into the world of watching movies and fell off the habit of reading books.
I have the habit of buying a lot of books. So I have a lot of books at home and in office, but I read the first chapters or I just flip through because mind is not able to rest there. I really want to write or work or something. So I love buying books. Every time I'm in the airport, I'm buying the new book, putting it there. So I wouldn't say that I just, I don't know. I mean, Sapiens is still hitting in my head that, the amount of knowledge that I gained from it was just incredible, that I'm thinking, oh my God, there's so much to learn. But what do you do with your 24 hours in a day, which is just nothing? It just goes like that. So what do you do? Where do you spend time? But books, I have to get back, but I need, I do chapters. I really do chapters. And I do a lot of non-fiction. I don't do fiction lately at all for the last.
Do you also read on Kindle?
No, I don't like it. I have it. I don't like it. I just don't like the scrolling. So I have to have the paper book.
And are you guys into podcasts?
No, but we are actually making our first audio thing very soon. So we better listen to a few.
I'll have to figure out how to get into it, but no, I
played it.
Literally, the only thing I do is watch things, like watch videos or films or shows, and I read on the web, like read internet. Read articles on the internet, but that's it. I don't have a habit of reading books.
Informative. I think Empire, the podcast Empire, is quite knowledgeable in terms of, I like the history. I like to understand, know little history. So the only problem with podcasts for me, I'm not tuned to it, is that I drift away. I start drifting away. And I'd be like, what happened? I had to go back and rewind and try and do it.
No, that happens to me. Like sometimes you're reading an article on the internet, right? And then they have the option of listen to the article. I tried once in a while. I put that listen to the article, and a minute later, I'm like, wait, what happened? I phased out. So I think I have to be looking at it to be actually grasping it. Yeah.
Can I recommend a podcast to you guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I discovered it recently, and it's called Founders. So it basically, they have made around 300, 400 episodes in this. So there's a guy, he picks up one founder from like the last 100 years, and it's an episode about everything that he did in his life. So recently I heard a podcast where it was about Henry Ford. Everything about Henry Ford. Then I'm currently listening to a podcast about Wright brothers. It's just about how they got together and
So are they making a series on Netflix soon? Kidding.
No, but what a nice idea.
Yeah.
Imagine Wright brothers. All I know is that one picture, that little clip. That's it. All you know is there are two brothers who made a plane. That's it. But imagine actually understanding.
And they've also worked as a team, no? And because they were like the kind of thing we do, one of us, there is a high probability that one of us would die.
Yeah.
So we need to be on the same page about everything. And one of them did have an accident, and the other co-passenger died in that accident because he fell from some 200 feet or something, and the other person died, but one of the Wright brothers survived. So they were very close knit. As a team, we really, really need to kill it. So it also has the recent founders, it would have the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musk, the Paul Grahams.
It's called Founders.
Founders.
Lovely.
That's it.
Lovely. And speaking of podcasts, it brings me back to an earlier question about books.
Yes, please.
Yes, I remember there is one book I read that is from this era and not from some bygone era, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The reason I said a podcast is because apparently it came from these NPR talk show things by Douglas Adams, right? He's done that and then converted them into books. And I love those books. I read all 5 of them. And
There's a tiny book
Yeah.
that I had discovered, and I just remember it again because of Oppenheimer. In that, this scientist makes a brief appearance. His name is Mr. Feynman. There's a little book here called, I think, you must be
Surely
joking.
you're joking, Mr.
Surely
Feynman.
you're joking, Mr. Feynman. That had made an impact because one little tidbit about it is that he was a scientist, like the top of the guys, and then, but he was tone deaf, like in terms of he just couldn't get music. He just didn't have rhythm in him. Imagine you don't have rhythm in him. You don't have rhythm in him. What do? You look at people and say you don't have rhythm. You can't do much about it. But he wanted to analyze why he didn't have the rhythm. So he picked up drums too and taught himself how to play drums in rhythm. And he became so good, he started playing in a band. So that's the power of how you can make your mind understand, even if you don't have the natural talent.
I have to move to the one of my last questions. It's about music. So, who are some of your favorite artists in regard to music?
Our foundation in terms of music for us has been Ilayaraja,
followed by Rahman.
where Rahman took it from there and went another place. So all our favorite music and just the understanding of music. I am blessed to be part of a family where my 2 aunts, my mother's sisters, 2 of them are Padma Shri singers. One is a Carnatic singer, one is a Hindustani singer, Shobha Raju and Sumitra Guha, and they're both inspirations as we grew up. There was music in the family, 2 different styles. So music has been very ingrained in our family. Like I learned classical music. I was more into that. Of course, you're a kid, so the most boring thing is to sit and learn classical music. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad we have collaborators like Sachin and Jigar, who basically any idea of a song, we go sit with them and say, let's create a song like
Yeah,
this.
I think they're pretty much the only composers we worked with in all our films.
It's also because we feel like we're making it with them. Of course, it's their songs, they do all the work, but then we are sitting with them and talking about instruments. We're talking about replacing a violin to a cello, to adding a beat here versus taking out. So it's a very enriching experience every time we make a song. So yeah, that way, very very involved in music that way. Music means a lot to us in terms of especially creating. We used to write, even Sita I think started writing also into script music. What songs? Then we realized we can get licenses for them.
That's a fun thing to write in a Hollywood script, but yeah, now you're not the rights. You're not gonna get the rights for it. But it gives you an idea of what kind of mood it is.
And one of my last questions, a thing you purchased for less than 10,000 rupees, which has had which you would like to recommend to everyone. Hey, this is something you should invest in.
10,000 rupees.
It has to be 10,000 rupees.
Or lesser.
How about a Fitbit?
Oh, a Fitbit.
I mean, I was resisting the idea of wearing a what do you call this? Fitness device, whatever. But then at one point I got caught up into this thing of counting 10,000 steps.
Are you crossing 10,000 steps every day?
I try to. And when I don't do, I feel guilty about it.
What's your average in general?
Average, I don't know, it's probably 6.
7, 6,
5 to
7,
6 is the average. But when I'm shooting, I'm always crossing 10,000. So the shoot days are my healthy days because I'm always on my feet. But when I'm not shooting, sometimes it drops down to 2,000, 3,000. But that's the days I feel guilty and try to at least hit the average of 5 to 6,000 at least. But 10 is a good number to hit.
I tend to do the 10,000 steps easily because I'm taking my calls as I walk in the park. So I'm converting, it's hard to walk for half hour. I suddenly look and say it's become like an hour and a half, 2-hour walk because I've finished talking about an entire story.
It's a game changer when you start doing meetings while walking.
Yeah. That's how I hit my steps too on a regular day. It's like I seldom sit and take the phone call. Like I might be sitting and writing or doing something. The moment the phone comes, I pick it up and I put the AirPods and I start walking. I start pacing in my room or I start walking. So the longer I'm on the phone, the more I'm walking. That's how it works out.
Nice. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hope you guys had fun.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, it's good to be talking about something,
Something else.
other than the show you're promoting.
Yeah.
Guns and
Anything you would
Gulaabs.
like to talk about?
Guns and Gulaabs, August
Guns
18,
and Gulabs,
Netflix.
August 18th. and
Netflix.
Netflix. Anything you would like to say about it?
Watch it.
I have seen, by the way, I saw 2 episodes and I loved it.
Yeah. No, what, Guns and Gulaabs. I think we should talk a minute about Guns and Gulaabs or not. Doesn't matter actually.
I don't think so. If it's their
Doesn't
format.
matter.
No,
their format, I
we
mean, so-
can.
Yeah, no, I don't need to. I mean, I used to
Yeah, we don't
because
have to,
we were indie filmmakers. We were like, oh shit, we have to plug it. We didn't even
We
think
don't have
about
to,
it.
no,
We
no.
don't
It's
have-
their format, right? What works for their
it's-
format.
it's-
They'll probably cut it out anyway.
No, because of the casual nature of this interview, like if I were to recommend a series, not recommend it, then everybody will call me and say, you didn't talk about Family Man, you talk about this.
You would have recommended Guns and
Guns and Gulaabs is our funnest show. Absolutely no whatever. There is no point to say. There is no
It's not a heavy watch.
You don't have it seriously. So I think it always puts a smile on our faces to talk about Guns and Gulaabs because what is it? It's just like a trailer says
इस पूरी story का point क्या है?
is what they say in the trailer, and again it's like I don't know what the fuck it is. So
Yeah, guys. I really enjoyed it. I've seen like a few episodes.
yeah,
Thank you.
It gets better.
How many episodes did you watch?
2.
7th is my favorite. So yeah, there you go.
The finale.
Nice one. And before we wrap this, if you can ask all your fans and all the people who would watch this episode to subscribe to Chalchitra Talks.
Chalchitra.
Chalchitra. Yeah.
Chalchitra.
Yeah, it means films. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but not Chalana.
Chal.
I think in Hindi.
It's
It's
Chalchitra.
Chalchitra,
Yeah.
maybe.
Hi guys, this is Raj,
This is DK.
and you must subscribe to this amazing channel called.
Chalchitra.com.
There you go.
Chalchitra.com is correct?
Chalchitra Talks.
Yeah, you messed it up.
Talk.
Talks. Talks. Talks.
Talks.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a .com.
Okay, let's do it again if you want. You want to do it again?
We'll keep both the parts. Yeah,
put
it'll be
both.
fun.
DK messed it up, not me. Okay, take 2. Hi, this is Raj,
Hi, this is DK.
and you're watching. No, you're not watching.
You're watching us on
Now
Chalchitra
there you
Talk.
go. You're not watching. We same subscribe. Okay. Hi guys. This is Raj,
This is DK.
and subscribe to this amazing channel. You know those bell things people click on. Do that thing for
Called
this channel called.
Chalchitra Talk.
Yeah, Talks.
Chalchitra
Chalchitra Talks.